So as I journey through Luke, when I arrived at Luke 12:49 to 56, I really did wonder. So let me read to you this passage, and then you'll see it's one of the difficult passages in the Gospel. Luke 12:49 through to 56. I've come to bring fire on earth, and how I wish it were already kindled. But I have a baptism to undergo, and what constraint I am under until it is completed. Do you think I came to bring peace on earth? No, I tell you, but division. From now on, there will be 5 in one family, divided against each other, and 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son, and son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. He said to the crowd, when you see a cloud rising in the west, immediately you say it's going to rain, and it does. And then the south wind blows, you say it's going to be hot, and it is. Hypocrites, you know how to interpret the appearance of the earth and the sky. How is it that you don't know how to interpret this present time? I wondered just what I could say in such a short period of time that might be helpful with some of these thoughts. When Jesus said he did not come to bring peace but division, well, the first thing that I thought of is that this could appear a massive contradiction of the one who said he was the Prince of Peace. I didn't come to bring peace, and yet he is the Prince of Peace. We know that the gift of the Spirit that's spoken about in the 14th chapter of John's Gospel speaks about that in terms of peace. However, what we must do is interpret these words on the journey to the cross. Because on the journey to the cross, it was quite clear that what lay at the end of that journey is, of course, a crucifixion. It is a rejection, it is a denial, it is a betrayal. It is all the very things that are awful to imagine, and yet they're going to be. And that is going to have implications for the disciples and the early followers of Jesus, who would also be following him throughout life. It wouldn't be easy. I think it's probably helpful to distinguish between peace on earth and peace with God. You know, the reality about division is a reality that we have to face. It will come very often as the result of the way we make poor choices. We hear our daughters and sons talking in terms of choices to their children. We hear them say, good choice, bad choice, because we know that they have implications. And so many of the poor choices we make in life result in division. But there is also division that is rejection. The division that comes when families know what it is for some to understand the truth and some not. And these words that I read in Luke's Gospel, they're very strong, but they may well describe what is actually happening. The situation in the days of the early persecution of Christians, especially when we read about courts and magistrates. They were dragged before them because of their commitment. And so in the light of these strong words, our trust in God needs to be real. And we need to face the fact that if we're going to follow Jesus, and like the early disciples, if we're going to live close to him, the cost is going to be very real. Of course, he is the Prince of Peace, but not everything that happens will be peaceable. Not everything that happens will be easy. Not everything that happens is going to bring things together. Sometimes it might separate. And we hear Jesus even talking about that happening even within families. It was lovely to talk to Peter earlier, and particularly to identify some of the tough situations in which ministry and love has to be lived out in our own country. And for many who feel rejected and feel that their own opportunities have been denied them. You know, if we're going to follow Jesus, our commitment to his way needs to be very committed, yes. It needs to be very straight, yes. It needs to be very firm, and firm to the ways that matter enormously.